Be prepared. Something is moving, fast, and it doesn't care if you're ready. This isn't about the planets being a little intense. This is about a cosmic wave that's already tearing through timelines like a blade through silk. And if you don't move with it, you'll get caught holding on to a version of yourself that's already expired. We are stepping into a week that doesn't knock. It kicks the door in. And some of you are still asking for signs while the floor beneath your soul is splitting open. What's coming isn't waiting for you to finish journaling, light some candles, or pull a card. It's already on the way, and if you don't shift now, you'll miss the portal entirely. There's no sugar in this message, no cushion, no poetic reassurance that everything will work itself out. No, this week demands participation. It requires response. If you've been delaying a decision, putting off a truth, dancing around something your soul already knows, this week is the explosion that will make denial impossible. Some weeks change your schedule. This one, it changes your soul's coordinates. Don't mistake the calm for comfort. Still waters run deep, but this one is hiding a riptide. And the ones who think they can float through it with their usual habits, distractions, and spiritual laziness will find themselves spiritually overdrawn before the weekend even hits. Think about a pressure cooker, that final hiss before it bursts, or the way animals sense an earthquake moments before the tremors start. That's what this energy feels like for those who are even slightly awake. And let me be blunt. If you're feeling strange, unsettled, emotional, reactive, disconnected, or even euphoric, it's not random. You're being rewired. And the noise you feel inside? That's the sound of your old self getting evicted. There's a quote I once heard. The soul does not whisper during a revolution. It roars. And right now, something inside you is screaming for a shift. But if you ignore it, if you keep pressing snooze on your intuition, this week will force your hand. Some doors won't open again. Some chances won't circle back. Some soul contracts are expiring whether you signed off on them or not. You might feel it in your sleep, in your bones, in the conversations that suddenly feel off, in the relationships that start flickering like a dying signal, in the silence that suddenly feels too loud to ignore. You'll hear it in the way people speak around you, but don't say what they really mean, and you'll sense it in the tension between what you say you want and how you keep avoiding it. This is your activation window, and it's closing fast. So before we go deeper into what's unfolding between July 6th and July 12th, I need you to stop what you're doing, like this video, hit subscribe, drop the number 77 in the comments if you've already been feeling this shift building up. And if someone you love has been confused, stuck, or restless lately, send this to them. Don't gatekeep this energy. Help spread the signal. Because what's happening right now, it's not just a personal upgrade, it's a collective checkpoint. The world around you may seem relaxed. July is always deceptive like that. People are out laughing, planning parties, cooking ribs, posting fake peace on Instagram. But don't get it twisted. While the surface looks calm, the energetic undercurrent is chaotic with purpose. It's not chaos for the sake of destruction, it's precision demolition. Everything false is cracking at the seams, everything tired is being drained, and everything you've outgrown is being surgically extracted from your path. This week is a reset disguised as routine, a rupture disguised as rhythm, a rebirth disguised as discomfort. And the strangest part, you'll feel like you're the only one who notices it, like the world is walking in slow motion while your spirit is sprinting towards something invisible but very, very real. That's because you're not imagining it. This week is not meant for the masses. It's a sacred blueprint only visible to those with the vision to decode it. And if you're watching this right now, you were meant to see through the illusion. July isn't asking for your consent anymore. It's moving you where you belong, with or without your agreement. The spiritual inertia has been building since the solstice, but now it's erupting. This is not a rehearsal. This is the shift your higher self has been circling for months, maybe years. This is the moment where your future self is standing on the other side of the timeline, screaming, "Move now, don't wait, don't think, just go." You won't feel this as panic. You'll feel it as urgency with no visible cause, a pressure that has no logical source. That's the portal. That's how you know. Your soul knows, and now your body is catching up. So take a breath. Feel the weight of this moment. We're going in. And what's coming next? You're not ready for it, but your soul is. Chapter 1. You're being aligned, not broken. And now that you're aware the energy has shifted, here comes the part most people misread. Because what you're about to feel, this pressure, this intensity, this strange inner buzzing, isn't a sign that something's going wrong. It's the signal that something sacred is being realigned. You're not being pulled apart. You're being positioned, precisely, purposefully, perfectly. But alignment doesn't always look like clarity at first glance. It often feels like chaos. Think about a dislocated bone. It has to be set back into place before healing begins. That moment of correction, it hurts, it's sharp, it's messy, but it's necessary. That's where we are. The universe isn't attacking you, it's setting you straight, realigning you with the timeline you almost missed. So if your relationships are glitching, if your emotions are overflowing, if your thoughts are loud and your body is tired, that's not collapse, that's calibration. The dreams you've been holding in the dark corners of your chest, the visions that feel too big, too bold, too strange to say out loud, they've been waiting for this fracture in the ordinary. Because cracks in reality are not accidents, they are entry points for the extraordinary. This week is exactly that, an entry point, a crack. And if you don't look away, if you don't self-distract or self-sabotage, you might just see your future self waving from the other side, saying, "Finally, you made it." You might be wondering, if this is alignment, why does it feel so ungrounded? Why do I feel so unsettled, so unsure, so heavy one moment and weightless the next? Because real alignment means undoing years of false agreement. And when the soul says yes to truth, the body has to process everything that's no longer in sync. That processing doesn't feel like bliss. It feels like dissonance. It feels like anxiety. It feels like you're spinning. But that's only because your soul is getting motion back after years of spiritual stagnation. This is the week where frequency shifts. It's the week where timelines solidify, where decisions become irreversible, where the energy gets locked into the next phase. And here's the truth no one tells you. It's not going to wait for your perfection. It's going to move with your participation. That means you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to meet the energy halfway. That might look like following the urge to say what you've been silencing. It might look like letting go of a connection that feels suddenly hollow. It might look like making a move that scares you, but also thrills something ancient in your bones. Most people will miss this. They'll feel something stirring but label it as stress. They'll dismiss the flickers, numb the signs, pretend it's just a weird week and go back to scrolling, ghosting, settling. But not you. You're here because you feel the architecture of your next level starting to form. You can almost hear the blueprint unfolding in the background. It's not fully visible yet. That's okay. Blueprints are drawn before buildings exist. But if you ignore this design phase, the foundation never gets poured. This week wants to build with you. It wants to collaborate, not control. But it will push you if it has to, into a conversation you can't take back, a choice that changes your trajectory, a moment that alters the entire rhythm of your life. And no, you won't be able to undo it. But maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe this isn't about going back anymore. Maybe this week is about arriving where you were always meant to be, without apology, without delay, without shrinking. Not because you're ready, but because you're aligned. Chapter 2, The Point of No Return. And now that the portal has swung open on July 7th, we enter the point of no return, a 7-day corridor where the sidewalk ends and only cliffs remain. This isn't a gentle nudge from fate, it's a shove off the ledge toward transformation. From July 7th to 14th, pressure builds like steam in a locked boiler room. Uranus ripping into Gemini on the 7th signals sudden ruptures in how you communicate and relate. Expect glitches, breakdowns, or breakthroughs. Then, on July 14th, Saturn turning retrograde in fiery Aries forces you to face old patterns built on shaky foundations. These aren't tidy cosmic checkboxes. They're seismic forces collapsing what you thought was stable. You might ask, what if I'm not ready? That question doesn't matter here. This week is like wildfire in dry brush. You're either evacuated or burned. It doesn't care about your plan. It cares only that something now has to give. Whether you exit through that door by choice or the universe yanks you in, it's happening. Jobs stiffen into cages. Love softens into misalignment. Friendships flicker off like faulty neon. Some of you will hear a phrase, read a sentence, realize something you've been holding is dead, and it will be done. This is your highest stakes week for choice or compliance. The energy will insist. Movement is mandatory. Even non-movement counts, because staying still with this much force behind you is itself a decision, and a dangerous one. Indecision here is like standing in the path of a bus. You'll get hit even if you never stepped forward. But here's a deeper truth. You won't feel like you're crossing the threshold until you're already on the other side. That's how thresholds work. One moment, your world feels normal. The next, everything's shifted. The job might still have your name on the door, but you don't fit inside it anymore. The relationship might still have the same face, but the energy is dead. And you might wake up, surrounded by the same walls, but you're breathing the air of a different universe. It might scare you. What if I lose too much? The universe answers, lose when you must, gain when you come through. Every loss this week is a reclamation. You're dropping the weight that's kept you anchored in someone else's world. You're shedding the identity that never truly belonged to your soul. Think of it like a caterpillar moment. Light becomes an unbearable burden because you're meant to metamorphose. You don't stay the same. You break the cocoon. You emerge. Something irreversible sparks and spreads through your cells, and you look back at your old body like a fading memory. Before July 14th ends, something will shift so profoundly you won't be able to go back to who you were. And no, you don't have to understand what's on the other side yet. You just have to be willing to walk forward, even if your feet are shaking. Because this week isn't for spectators. It's for those who choose to live on the other side of their own becoming. Chapter 3, Full Moon Revelation, July 10th. July 10th carries a light that doesn't just shine, it unmasks, and what it reveals won't come with screaming or scandal. No fireworks, no dramatic confrontations, just one brutal kind of knowing that slips in quietly and shifts the entire architecture of how you see someone. This full moon isn't poetic, it's surgical. It doesn't gently glow, it slices. Not to harm, but to expose. To clear away the fog you've been surviving in, the emotional haze that's kept certain people, certain dynamics and certain illusions just blurry enough to tolerate. That fog, it evaporates in seconds under this moon's gaze, and once it's gone, you can't unsee what's been there all along. You might be asking yourself, why now? Why them? Why does this hit so hard when nothing even happened? Because that's the power of this particular lunation. Nothing needs to happen externally. A word, a hesitation, a breath too long, a silence that suddenly echoes louder than a scream. That's all it takes. This is psychic X-ray vision, and it doesn't blink. You'll look at someone, a partner, a parent, a friend, and something clicks. Not out of hatred, not out of pain, out of clarity. Oh, that's who you are. Or more accurately, that's who you've always been. I just couldn't see it before because I was still seeing you through the lens of who I used to be. This moon doesn't create problems. It reveals the truth hiding beneath the surface tension you've been managing. And it won't always feel like betrayal. It might feel like relief, or it might feel like loss, like grief with no words. Because when you see someone clearly for the first time, you're also forced to mourn the fantasy that shielded you from that truth. This moon pulls the emotional fire alarm, not to create chaos, but to evacuate you from the illusions that can no longer house your evolution. Some bonds will deepen surprisingly. You'll notice who feels steady in the clarity, whose presence still fits inside your growth. Others, no matter how close they physically are, will suddenly feel light years away. And no, you won't always be able to explain it. You're not crazy. You're not cold. You're just done pretending not to know what your soul has known for a while. And that moment, that sacred final realization, that's not betrayal. That's your permission slip to stop carrying people who refuse to walk beside you. Chapter 5. The 777 Portal, July 7th. July 7th isn't just a date, it's a spiritual cipher, a code etched into time itself. The seventh day of the seventh month in a year that also reduces to 7. This is a 777 alignment, a rare vibrational echo that doesn't whisper, it thunders. This is the kind of cosmic doorway that doesn't wait for you to be ready. It arrives like lightning, brief, brilliant, irreversible. In numerology, 7 is the seeker, the mystic, the one who doesn't take things at face value. It digs, it questions, it strips away the performance and hunts for soul truth. So when that energy triples, it becomes a mirror on fire. You can't fake it, you can't escape it. You either rise to meet it or get scorched by your own reflection. On this day, time may stretch. Conversations feel fated. Random moments seem to glow with eerie meaning. That's not your imagination. That's spiritual gravity pulling threads together. What you think, say, or even casually wish for on this day carries weight. This isn't manifestation in slow motion. It's instant feedback, a karmicus echo chamber. You might ask, what if I'm unclear? What if I'm still healing? That's okay, but understand this portal will amplify everything. Confusion gets louder, triggers hit harder. But if you're focused, if you've done the work, this becomes a launch pad. Portals like this are rare. They don't wait for logic. They wait for awareness. And if you're even slightly awake on July 7th, you'll feel it. A pull in your chest, a tightness in your gut, a whisper in your mind that says, now, now, now. This isn't just a spiritual checkpoint, it's a cosmic mirror, and what you reflect into it, it multiplies. Handle with intention. Chapter 6. The Flicker. Your future is tapping you. It always starts small, a flicker, a shift in the air, a glance at the clock at the same exact time for 3 days in a row, a random pull toward an old idea you buried months ago. It doesn't come with flashing lights or divine announcements. It slides in sideways, quiet, fragile, almost forgettable. But that flicker, that's not coincidence. That's your future self tapping you on the shoulder, whispering, "Pay attention. You're being guided." This is how your higher path often arrives, not with drama, but with subtle disruptions to the script you've been living. You might feel it as a sudden urge to change your routine, or the itch to finally say something that's been sitting heavy on your tongue. Or maybe it's just a strange heaviness that won't leave. Don't dismiss it. That's your signal. That's the window. You may ask, how do I know it's real and not just in my head? The answer is repetition. 3 times, 3 days, same tug, same trigger, same time. That's the universe clearing its throat. That's your soul laying breadcrumbs through time. Ignore it, and you might feel okay now, but by August, you'll wonder why you suddenly feel stuck, why things that once flowed now resist. July whispers. August slams the door. The flicker is your grace period, a sacred crack in time offering you the softest possible way to change course before the hard reroute arrives. If you miss it, life won't punish you, but it will push harder. What was once a nudge will become a wall. What was once a suggestion will become a consequence. So watch carefully, notice the glitch, trust the loop. The flicker isn't just a feeling, it's a frequency, and it's only repeating now because your future is closer than it looks. Chapter 7. Discomfort is sacred. This week may leave you breathless, but not because you're broken, because you're finally being rebuilt. It won't feel gentle, it won't feel sweet. The energy here isn't soft music and incense, it's cracked voices, racing thoughts, and sudden surges of emotion that make you question everything. But before you panic, hear this. Discomfort is not a detour, it's a doorway, and this one, it's sacred. There's a lie that's been sold to you, that healing always feels light and peaceful. That alignment means ease. But real spiritual growth, it often arrives like sandpaper to the soul. This week, the universe is peeling back what no longer fits, and the friction you're feeling isn't failure, it's truth doing its work. You might ask, why now? Why so intense? Because this energy isn't trying to hurt you. It's trying to show you. It's rubbing up against the pieces of your life that have grown brittle, fake, or unrooted. The tension, the fatigue, the irritability. It's not a breakdown. It's the soul's immune system rejecting what no longer belongs. It may feel like anxiety, exhaustion, mood swings, maybe even rage, but that's alignment pressing on places that can't come with you into what's next. You're being sanded down, so your next chapter has something solid to stand on. So don't chase numbness, don't silence what aches. Let the cracks breathe. Let the pressure speak. Sit in it. Because beneath all that static, there's something sacred rising, and it's made of your real self. You're not being punished. You're being purified. The process is messy, but the outcome is magnificent. And when it's over, you'll feel it. Not as relief, but as quiet certainty that something false finally fell away, and something real was allowed to stay. Chapter 8. Solitude is the upgrade. This week, silence is not a void, it's an invitation. You might feel the distance rising. Conversations feel shallow. People who once lit you up now feel strangely off frequency. But this isn't abandonment, it's divine recalibration. The universe is silencing the external world, so you can finally hear the internal whisper that's been drowned out for too long. You are being pulled inward for a reason. There's a message forming, not in the chaos, but in the quiet. And if you keep chasing distractions, you'll miss it. That's why the plans fall through. That's why the texts don't hit the same. That's why the pull to isolate feels stronger than ever. This isn't you losing people. This is you reconnecting with yourself. And maybe you're wondering, why now? Why does solitude feel so heavy when I need comfort the most? Because you don't need comfort. You need clarity. And clarity requires space. This is spiritual bandwidth management. And right now, anything unnecessary is being muted. So cancel the extra. Say no to noise. Don't force what's not flowing. Let the silence stretch. Let your presence be your anchor, because in this stillness, something is arriving, and you'll only hear it if you're tuned in. That ache of isolation, That's the sound of the upgrade downloading. Journal, breathe, walk. Don't rush to explain yourself. Don't apologize for needing distance. Don't dilute your energy just to be more digestible. This season is about depth, not performance. It's not about losing connection. It's about making sure the next connection aligns with who you're becoming, not who you've been. Let this be the week you meet yourself again at a higher frequency, because what's coming next doesn't want the tired version of you. It wants the true one. If this message found you at the right time, it's not random. The shift is real. Don't ignore the pull. Like, subscribe, and drop 777 in the comments to claim this portal as yours. Share this with someone who needs the silence, because the transmission, it's already begun.